Gertner, Veronica. Veronica says hello, Magdalene. How is the mural going? I hope my husband hasn't been bothering you about it too much. Option 1 of 3. Is that a concern? Option 2 of 3. No, the council has left me to work for the most part. I think OTZ has something to do with that. Option 3 of 3. Has he said anything to you about it? Option 2 of 3. No, the council has left me to work for the most part. I think OTZ has something to do with that. Veronica says that boy has his eye on you, Magda. At least he's using his authority to do some good. Usually that lot just meddle around in things that are best left alone. Those men are bad influences on each other, if you ask me. Now they're chattering on about a yearly check of the hinges on every door in town. Hinges. Who gives a damn if the hinges on our front door creak? Option 1 of 3. They just trying to keep the town in order. Option 2 of 3. The council are just old men looking to feel important. Option 3 of 3. To be fair, if your hinges creak, the door's integrity is at stake. Veronica says yes. Well, I don't need to check every door in my house every year like it's a feast day. If there's a creaky hinge, I'll hear it. Anyway, I think it's good of you to be working on the mural. I wish Artemis and Apollo would take interest in something like that. Speaking of, have you seen them around anywhere? I asked them to look after the chickens, but they've disappeared. Option 1 of 2. No, I haven't seen them recently. Option 2 of 2. They re-catching frogs to stuff into the church tabernacle. Option 1 of 2. No, I haven't seen them recently. Veronica says ugh. This town isn't that big. I don't know where they get to that I can't find them. Father Thomas says they're only so much trouble because I named them after Greek gods. He says those names have power, but I still like them. Besides, Apollo and Artemis were gods of virtues. If anything, they should be more well behaved. Option 1 of 3. NAMES do have power, though. Maybe the spirits of the gods are affecting the twins. Option 2 of 3. I don't think anything will stop the twins from going their own way in life. Option 3 of 3. Artemis was the goddess of nature, and Apollo was the god of music. Maybe the twins have hidden talents? Veronica says, are you suggesting I appeal to the Greek gods like patron saints? Option 1 of 2. Why not? If Father Thomas thinks names are so powerful, maybe this will help. Option 2 of 2. When you put it like that. Option 1 of 2. Why not? If Father Thomas thinks names are so powerful, maybe this will help. Veronica says haha. How inspired. Maybe I will. That will get them all in line for a while. Anyway, I'd better go find those rascals. Good luck on the mural, Magdalene. Player says thanks, Veronica. Veronica. Veronica says Gertner Farm. Clara. Clara says hello, Magdalene, how are you? How's Klaus? Option 1 of 2. It's hard to know for certain. One day he seems well, and the next I can hardly understand his words. Option 2 of 2. Neither of us is doing well. I'm having trouble coping with the stress. Dad's been hard to understand recently. Option 1 of 2. It's hard to know for certain. One day he seems well, and the next I can hardly understand his words. Clara says oh, Magdalene. I'll keep praying for you both. The both of you deserve the best. Life's been hard enough for you already. Please let me know if you need any help around the house. I'd be happy to help. Option 1 of 2. Thank you, Clara. That's very kind of you. I've been so busy in the rot house I've let the house go a bit. Option 2 of 2. I've never heard anyone so excited to do housework before. Option 1 of 2. Thank you, Clara. That's very kind of you. I've been so busy in the rot house I've let the house go a bit. Clara says not to worry. I'll come by and help. Besides, then we can chat, and chatter makes chores pass quickly. With all my children up and grown, and no husband to care for anymore, I've got to make myself useful somehow. Option 1 of 3. Jurg is still in the house, though, isn't he? Option 2 of 3. Why bother? You could spend your days relaxing instead of doing chores. Option 3 of 3. Aren't you enjoying it? I heard that Peter was, well, crazy. Clara says sigh. Artemis and Apollo have certain ideas about their grandfather. And their great-grandfather doesn't seem to see the struggle he puts me under when he talks about Peter. My husband was hard to live with in his later years. He was an angry man. Peter wanted what was right for his family, regardless of what that meant for relations with anyone else in town. I was horrified when he burned the abbey, but I still loved him. I felt great shame over the relief I had when the revolt was over. That it was done. I no longer had to worry over his anger, or whether he would shout at the children. I can only pray that God and the brothers forgive him. And that he may forgive me. Option 1 of 3. While you were living in hard times, you shouldn't feel shame for being grateful they're over. Option 2 of 3. I don't think that's up to him to decide. Option 3 of 3. Remain silent. Option 1 of 3. While you were living in hard times, you shouldn't feel shame for being grateful they're over. Clara says thank you, Magdalene. You're a sweet girl. I pray the Lord feels the same. I'll let you get back to your day. God bless you. Clara. Andres says hello, Magdalene. How is Rezi and I are very worried. Option 1 of 2 ALIVE, and that's what matters. Option 2 of 2 NOT well, Andres. Option 1 of 2 ALIVE, and that's what matters. Andres says did you discover who attacked him? Player says no. Whoever it was, they left no sign. Andres says a terrible crime. Terrible. May God look after you both. We've had enough tragedy in this town. Fortunately, Dr. Stalls appears to have found his purpose. Option 1 of 3 I remember him being so sad when I was a girl. Option 2 of 3 really? He's so dour all of the time. Option 3 of 3 say nothing. Option 1 of 3 I remember him being so sad when I was a girl. Andres says ha. You're still a girl. He was once the picture of arrogance. Masked to sadness, I think. Like to talk about how he was destined for better places than this backwater alpine town, how he was meant for the courts of kings. No longer. He grew up. Player says what changed? Andres says the revolts, no doubt. Changed but he's the one who saw the bodies. He's not a heartless man, Magdalene. He deserves our compassion. But I shouldn't gossip. If there's anything Rezi and I can do for you, let us know. Player says I will. Thank you for your kindness, Andres. Andres says it's nothing. I owe your father more than I can say. Take care, Magdalene. Andres. Morning, Magdalene. Rezi. Rezi says hello, Mistress Druck-Aaron. How is Klaus? Andres and I have been terribly worried. Option 1 of 2 Dad's spirits are high, but he still gets headaches and spells of dizziness. Option 2 of 2 he's been better. Option 1 of 2 Dad's spirits are high, but he still gets headaches and spells of dizziness. Rezi says if there's anything we can help you with, let us know. Andres is always ready to provide. He and Klaus have been friends for a long time. Option 1 of 2 My thanks to you both. We're certainly grateful. Option 2 of 2 If you don't mind. You weren't born in Tassing, am I right? Rezi says no, I am originally from Innsbruck. Player says how did you arrive here? Rezi says the twists of Providence are sudden and unpredictable. I was but a young girl selling all manner of wares on the market. Pots and the like. One day this man appears to the stall, all jitters and nerves, stammering over his words. But charming, in a way. We spoke at length. I was intrigued, and soon enamored, as if a candle had been lit. Andres is a man of talent and means, after all, blessed with a kind soul. Option 1 of 2 HOW Did it feel to leave home for someone, somewhere far away? Uprooting yourself from the life you had? Option 2 of 2 Do you have any regrets coming here? Option 1 of 2 HOW Did it feel to leave home for someone, somewhere far away? Uprooting. Rezi says frightening, to be sure, leaving Innsbruck, my friends and family behind. But it was exciting as well, going off to find new opportunities and build a new life. There wasn't much I had to look forward to in Innsbruck, few prospects for a poor girl. I couldn't see myself sitting at the market, continuing to sell odds and ends. Sometimes there are risks we just have to take. Option 1 of 2 That's very inspiring, Rezi. I'm glad you found happiness here. Option 2 of 2 I am still unsure. You can't actually know how life would have turned out had you stayed in Innsbruck. Option 1 of 2 that's very inspiring, Rezi. I'm glad you found happiness here. Rezi says we all struggle in this world, but the moments of joy outweigh the bad. It's how God has set the world, His benevolence guiding us through it all. I feel I've been blessed, and it's not been all bad for Endris either. I assist him with the bookkeeping side of the smithy, and other things. Option 1 of 2 thank you for telling me about your past. Option 2 of 2 I hope I've also made the right choices so Option 1 of 2 thank you for telling me about your past. Rezi says it's nothing, Magdalene. I hope it has provided you with some encouragement. Don't forget you are important as well, and deserve to live your life. Alright. I have to assist Endris with a few things. Be well. Player says until later, Therese. Rezi. OTZ says hey, Mags, got your way with the mural, hey? I didn't expect you to convince the council like that. Option 1 of 2 I can be pretty stubborn when I want to, OTZ. Option 2 of 2 why you think that little of me? Option 1 of 2 I can be pretty stubborn when I want to, OTZ. OTZ says clearly. I'm impressed. The rest of the council has been arguing over the matter for so long, even I couldn't get a word in. Then you come in and shut them up in a few minutes. We could use more women like you in the town. Option 1 of 2 WHAT do you mean by that, OTZ? Option 2 of 2 THERE are plenty of opinionated women in town. Want to let us join the council? OTZ says het. Well, you'd have to take that up with the Lord. Besides, I don't think any of them are as hard-headed as you. You're the exception, Magdalene. You always are. Option 1 of 2 why you really think so? Option 2 of 2 clearly you've forgotten about Agnes. She doesn't suffer fools gladly. OTZ says that's not what I meant. She's not. Oh, never mind. Forget about it. Anyway, standing up to the council like that was great. I know I'm on the council, but sometimes it doesn't seem like I have any influence. Option 1 of 3 why you do, though. You vouched for me to do the mural in the first place. Player says OTZ actually seems insecure about his place on the council. Option 1 of 2 he may be an ass sometimes, but I don't like to see him so upset. Option 2 of 2 he's always poking fun at me, too. Maybe I should remind him he's not that important after all. Option 1 of 2 he may be an ass sometimes, but I don't like to see him so upset. Player says maybe I should reassure him. Option 1 of 3 why you do, though. You vouched for me to do the mural in the first place. Option 2 of 3 WELL, you are the youngest member of the council. The others have much more life experience. Option 3 of 3 MAYBE that's a good thing. You waste all of your time with Craft and Apollo, anyway. Option 1 of 3 why you do, though. You vouched for me to do the mural in the first place. OTZ says only after your dad did. I still feel bad about that. I should have stuck up for you. Being the youngest one on the council has been harder than I thought. I know Baltaz and Werner don't think I'm capable, and even Paul has warned me about being too rash. My dad died trying to make a difference in this town. All I'm trying to do is carry on his legacy, but it seems like the others won't make room for any change. Option 1 of 3 KEEP pushing, OTZ. They're stuck in the past, but we're looking toward the future of Tassing. Option 2 of 3 you sound like my dad. He always said that the council was scared of doing anything important. Option 3 of 3 I don't think anything is going to change for the better in this town. It's stuck in its ways. Option 1 of 3 KEEP pushing, OTZ. They're stuck in the past, but we're looking toward the future. OTZ says thanks, Magdalene. It'll take time, but maybe they'll listen to me eventually. Well. Better get back to it. See you later, Mags. OTZ. Player says hello, Eva. Eva says Magda, darling. OTZ isn't here, I'm afraid. Option 1 of 3 that's alright. I can find him later, if I need to. Option 2 of 3 alright. Option 3 of 3 I wasn't looking for him. Option 1 of 3OH, that's all right. I can find him later. Eva says I think he wandered off toward the Rathaus. Something about the council, but if you ask me, I think he's looking for you. Option 1 of 3 that's sweet of him. He has been dropping by the Rathaus more often as of late. Option 2 of 3 I am sorry to disappoint him. Option 3 of 3 doesn't he do any real work? Option 1 of 3 that's sweet of him. He has been dropping by the Rathaus more often as of late. Eva says he's quite fond of you. I'm surprised he has any time to visit. He's always working on town council business these days, and he's still working at mastering carpentry. I suggested a few years ago that he take up an apprenticeship, but he was determined to remain in Tassing. I think he's more comfortable here, even if that means he'll never be the craftsman Otto was. I help him how I can, but there's only so much I know how to do. Besides, I think he feels like he's taking care of me, instead of the other way around. Option 1 of 3 it's good of him to stay. I would worry that you'd be lonely, otherwise. Option 2 of 3 I think Dad misses Mom, even after all these years. Do you ever miss Otto? Option 3 of 3 I would jump at the chance to leave Tassing if it didn't mean Dad would be left alone. I imagine OTZ felt the same. Option 1 of 3 it's good of him to stay. I would worry that you'd be lonely, otherwise. Eva says oh, even if he had gone, I wouldn't be alone. I have Mom and Jurg, and the rest of the family to help take care. Besides, they keep me busy. I'll never want for anything, with OTZ and the community here in Tassing. I miss my husband, but I'm proud of OTZ. He's growing into a capable young man. I'm excited to see him grow into a husband and father. He'll make a wonderful partner. Option 1 of 2 whoever he marries will be a lucky woman. Option 2 of 2 if he ever grows up, that is. He still acts like a boy half the time. Eva says oh, that's the way of men. The Lord gave them lofty spirits that need to exert themselves. Give it time, Magdalene. You'll see. All men are tempered by marriage. Player says if you say so. Eva says anyway, I'm sure you have things to do. I'll let you get back to them. Always good to see you, Magda. Player says you too, Eva. Christina. Eva, Christina, Eva. Black Till. Black Till says God bless you, Magda. Player says God bless you, Till. Do you have a moment? Black Till says of course. What do you need? OTZ says you've been obsessed with your painting. Option 1 of 3 I am looking into the early history of Tassing for the first part of the mural. Option 2 of 3 HEY. I have other interests. Option 3 of 3 OTZ is just jealous that I spend more time with the mural than I do with him. Option 1 of 3 I am looking into the early history of Tassing for the first part of the mural. Player says Mother Illuminata said your grandfather read about the history of the town. Black Till says fertile fields, that is. Seemed like old pot shards and Latin trivia were all he ever talked about. All of Granddad's reading came from the Abbey's library, though. And you know what happened there, poof. Up in smoke. Option 1 of 2 so you don't have any of his old books? Option 2 of 2 I remember, I was there. Option 1 of 2 so you don't have any of his old books? Black Till says only a few. Granddad tried to buy some when the Abbey fell on hard times, but they were too expensive. But I can show you something better than books. Option 1 of 2 anything would help. Option 2 of 2 don't keep me in suspense. Black Till says didn't your dad ever teach you patience? I'm trying to build up some anticipation here. Right, so, we don't have any books on the old pagans, but we do have their stuff. Shards of ceramic pots and animals, bricks from what looks to be an old forge, mountains of salt. Even found a little bear carved from amber. Option 1 of 2 WHERE did you find all this stuff? Option 2 of 2 WHERE are you keeping these things? Option 1 of 2 WHERE did you find all this stuff? Black Till says it's not just me. Carl finds things. Fabian, too. Any farmer would tell you the same. It's all out there in the fields, under the dirt. Can't go one season without turning up something. Player says where are you keeping these things? Black Till says nowhere. We just toss them into piles with the rest of the rocks and root clumps. Sure, it's interesting, but we can't do much of anything with the stuff except look at it. Player says, what do you think it all means? Black Till says, I don't follow. Option 1 of 3 HOW, do you think these people lived? Option 2 of 3 WHAT, do you think they were like? Option 1 of 3 HOW, do you think these people lived? Option 2 of 3 WHAT, do you think they were like? Option 3 of 3 WHERE, do you think they all went? Option 1 of 3 HOW, do you think these people lived? Black Till says, rough, I'd say, but comfortable. We don't find much of their clothes, or their houses, so they must have rotted. I guess that would mean they were living in huts, but their tools are good quality. If they weren't rusted all to hell, I could probably use them today. Player says, I don't know why, but I assumed they'd live in caves, or in the muck. Black Till says, they weren't Christians, no doubt about that, but they weren't animals, either. I'd say they had it hard, but they got by. Not so different from today, really. Option 1 of 3, earlier you mentioned something about salt. Did the pagans start the mine? Option 2 of 3, THIS has been a big help. Option 3 of 3, THIS pagan history wasn't really what I expected. Option 1 of 3, earlier you mentioned something about salt. Did the pagans start the mine? Black Till says, had to have, I'd say. Most people think it was a Roman project, but I think the Romans just dug out what was already there. That's why tassing was so important to the Romans in the first place. Salt. Player says, I'd always wondered why they'd settled in such a small alpine town. Do you think there's anything left of the pagans down there? Black Till says, I don't know. But anything they left would have to be better preserved than what we dig out of the fields. Magdalene, tell me you aren't thinking of going down there. Option 1 of 2 WHAT, if there's stuff that could help me with the mural. Option 2 of 2 lie, I am definitely not thinking of going down there. Black Till says, young lady, I may have been born at night, but I wasn't born last night. I know a lie when I hear one. That mine is hundreds of years old. You could break your neck just getting in there. Option 1 of 2, Orpheus made it back from the underworld, didn't he? I'll be fine. Option 2 of 2, it's worth it for the mural. Option 1 of 2, Orpheus made it back from the underworld, didn't he? Black Till says, maybe so, but he mocked the gods and failed in his quest. Magdalene, don't take him as an example. Imagine how your dad would feel if you got hurt. Player says, then help me get down safely, and he won't have to worry. Black Till says, you're bull-headed, just like your mother, and your father. Probably couldn't keep you out of there if I tried. Player says, please, Till. Black Till says, all right. Don't know how to get down there myself, but I know those twins have gotten in a time or two. No doubt they have a trick, and Baltas might not be the most reliable man, but I don't doubt he could rig something up for you, too. Option 1 of 2, THANKU, Till. Option 2 of 2, I promise I'll be careful. Option 1 of 2, THANKU, Till. Black Till says, don't mention it. I'm serious. Don't. Option 1 of 2, THIS has been a big help. Option 2 of 2, THIS pagan history wasn't really what I expected. Option 1 of 2, THIS has been a big help. Black Till says, glad to spread some knowledge around. Important for folks to know their past. You think all this pagan stuff will make it in the mural? I can bring some of the things the boys and I have found over to the Rot House tomorrow, if that'd help at all. Option 1 of 2, THAT would be great. Option 2 of 2, I guess I can take a look at it. Option 1 of 2, THAT would be great. Black Till says, I'm glad you're taking an interest, Magdalene. I thought no one cared about the pagans but me and Granddad. I should warn you, if you do head into the forest, keep an eye out for the Lord's men. They're strict. Worse now than they used to be. Player says, I'll be careful. Until tomorrow. Black Till says, until then. Black Till. Gret says, Magdalene, darling. Player says, good morning, Gret. It smells heavenly in here. Gret says, oh, haha. I've just finished rolling out some raisin bread. I thought that Andreas and Ulrich could use a treat today. Option 1 of 3OH, what a sweet idea. Option 2 of 3ANY special occasion? Option 3 of 3 aren't you worried about spoiling them? Option 1 of 3OH, what a sweet idea. Gret says I had some spare time today, and I like to stay busy. The soul of the diligent shall be made rich, after all. Besides, I like to drop in on Anna and see my grandchildren. I'm more blessed than I ever imagined I would be. Paul and Anna make such a lovely pair. Ulrich wouldn't believe his eyes if he saw us now. I wish he could see his grandchildren. Option 1 of 3 I am sure he's rejoicing with the all saints in heaven, Gret. Option 2 of 3 I did always think it was strange that your daughter married the son of the man who killed your husband. Option 3 of 3 I am sorry that his sacrifice was what was needed to bring your families together. Gret says as am I. You know, I was angry when Anna first took a liking to young Paul. He was always a quiet boy, but I was afraid he'd turn out like his father. Well, I needn't have worried. Paul is a good man, and a good father. He's built this town back up from what it was, and else dotes on those children more than I do. She's certainly come a long way from the meek woman I met. Option 1 of 2 really? She seems so kind, though. I can't imagine her as anything else. Option 2 of 2 WELL, I think not having to live with Lenhart helps. Option 1 of 2 really? Option 2 of 2 WELL, I think not having to live with Lenhart helps. Gret says well, though I wouldn't phrase it as such, I agree with you. She's twice the woman she was with him. The Lord provides miracles to us all, even if they are birthed from tragedy. I've been chatting too long. My does need tending. Please excuse me, Magdalene. Player says of course, Gret. And Gret. Gret bless you, Magdalene. Gret. Central town. Elevate, North town. Central Carl. Rock house. South house. Is house. North town. North town. Not you. Magdalene. Players workshop. I wonder if you do lessons soon. Baltasar. Baltasar says Magdalene. Hello. I was just jotting down a few new ideas. Did you need something? Player says yes, if you have a moment. I need to get into the old salt mine, but I don't have a way down. Can you help me? Baltasar says to get into the salt mine, yes? You must be on quite the advent. Ideally we could rig up a double pulley system to lower and raise yourself in the shaft, but that might take a while. Player says well, I would like to go in today if possible. Baltasar says of course. Would a good length of rope suffice? You could brace against the wall of the mine shaft. Are you strong enough to support your own weight? Player says against the wall? Baltasar says excellent. Player says thank you, Baltas. Baltasar says of course. Here you go. Do be careful, though. Make sure the ropes are secure. Player says I will. Until later. Baltasar says good luck, Magdalene. Baltasar. Werner says hello, Magdalene. How are you? Option 1 of 2 WELL enough, considering the circumstances. Werner says I'm glad to hear it. You're being admirably level-headed, given your challenge. For what it's worth, though Klaus and I haven't always seen eye to eye, I've always respected him. Option 1 of 2 DAD respects you as well. Option 2 of 2 THEN you shouldn't argue with him about the mural. Trust us to know what we're doing. Option 1 of 2 DAD respects you as well. Option 2 of 2 THEN you shouldn't argue with him about the mural. Trust us to know what we're doing. Werner says you already know it's not that simple. The mural will tell the tale of Tassing for generations. Option 1 of 2 DAD knows that. I know that. We're both serious about our craft. Option 2 of 2 exactly. That's why important for art to tell the truth. Option 1 of 2 DAD knows that. I know that. We're both serious about our craft. Werner says you're just as stubborn as he is. Option 1 of 2 THANKU. Option 2 of 2 I know you wish it wasn't me. Option 1 of 2 THANKU. Werner says this must be part of the Lord's plan. I must trust that he put you in this position for a reason. All the same, the council does not want to regret their lenience. Option 1 of 2 Why you all have so little faith in me. But I'll prove you wrong. Option 2 of 2 I will make Tassing proud. Werner says that remains to be seen. Go on then, I've patience to attend to. Player says until later. Werner. Agnes. Agnes says good morning, Magdalene. Brisk weather today, isn't it? And Brigida said Kraft would bring me round some provisions. Ha! No doubt he's off causing some other trouble again. Daft bastard. He'll never make anything of himself at this rate. Player says you know he keeps trying to come onto me, Agnes. Agnes says Pa. I trust you've beat some sense into him, Magda. Option 1 of 3 something like that. Option 2 of 3 I told him off. He won't be trying that again. Option 3 of 3 I don't mind it as much anymore. I'm used to it. Option 1 of 3 something like that. Agnes says humph. Good. My grandson doesn't deserve a keen girl like you. My grandson is a devil and a rascal. I'm near ready enough to take my cane to him myself. Option 1 of 3 surely he deserves another chance, despite his behavior. Option 2 of 3 why you really hate your own grandson that much? Option 3 of 3 I don't think even a beating will change him, Agnes. He's rotten to the core. Option 1 of 3 surely he deserves another chance, despite his behavior. Agnes says and how many chances has he had? And his father, they've had more chances than anyone deserves. I've had enough of second chances, Magdalene. No one thought to give my husband a second chance. That old abbot didn't give a damn about second chances, much less forgiveness. No, it seems no one in Tassing gets a second chance at anything. Humph. Well, you didn't come all this way to hear an old woman lament the past. What can I do for you? Player says I thought you might have some additional remedies for my father. Agnes says are Werner's not enough? I understand Klaus' condition is dire, but I thought Werner would be able to provide something. Player says I know it won't save him, but I still want to try everything I can. Agnes says every little bit helps. I understand. Let me see what I can whip up. I can't promise anything, but God willing, I pray it provides some small help. Player says thank you, Agnes. Agnes says of course, Magdalene. Take care, Agnes. Artemis says oh, hey, Magdalene. Do you need something? I'm a little busy right now. Option 1 of 2 still catching frogs? Option 2 of 2 I need you to show me how you and Apollo get in and out of the old salt mine. Artemis says the mine? Damn, Magda, why do you need to get down there? Player says I want to see what our forefathers and the Romans left behind. It's for the mural. Artemis says the mural? You want to use our secret hideout for your mural? Option 1 of 2 I want to see if they left anything down there I could use as a reference. Option 2 of 2 you our secret hideout? But everybody knows you two hide down there. Option 1 of 2 I want to see if they left anything down there I could use as a reference. Artemis says you're really into that whole rothouse project, aren't you? Why should I show you how to get in? Option 1 of 3 please, Artemis. I won't go in ever again. I just need your help this once. Option 2 of 3 because we're friends? Option 3 of 3 I'll help you with whatever you're planning next. Option 1 of 3 please, Artemis. I won't go in ever again. Artemis says just like you said you'd never ask to borrow my favorite scarf again? I need a guarantee, Magda. Look, I'll show you how to get into the mine on one condition. You help Apollo and me with our next prank. No telling. No snitching. No questions asked. Option 1 of 2 fine. Tell me what you're up to. Option 2 of 2 HAH. No way. I'm not that stupid. Option 1 of 2 fine. Tell me what you're up to. Artemis says Father Thomas has been droning on and on about the plagues of Egypt, right? Apollo and I are collecting frogs to hide in the tabernacle. When Father Thomas opens it on Sunday, frogs will go everywhere. Option 1 of 3 HAHA. I can't wait to see Father Thomas's face if you can get away with it. Option 2 of 3 why in the world do you wanna do that? Option 3 of 3 that seems like a really bad idea. You've already been to confession this year. Option 1 of 3 ha. I can't wait to see Father Thomas's face if you can get away with it. Artemis says he'll never expect to summon frogs in his sermon on the Egyptian plagues. It's the perfect plan. Player says so, what do you want me to do? Artemis says we stole the tabernacle key, but we need to put it back before he notices. Player says you want me to put the key back. Artemis says precisely. Look, we stole the key early to make sure it was the right one. We'll steal it again once we actually stuff the frogs in there, but in the meantime, it needs to go back. I need you to replace the key on the altar in the church. Apollo and I would attract too much attention. But you? You're the town's goody-goody. Option 1 of 3 which is why I'm taking absolutely no part in this. Sorry, Artemis. Option 2 of 3. I'm not that bad, am I? Option 3 of 3 am not. I'm just a better sneak than you. Option 1 of 3 which is why I'm taking absolutely no part in this. Sorry, Artemis. Option 3 of 3 am not. I'm just a better sneak than you. Artemis says that's bullshit, and you know it. Anyway, will you do it? I'll get you into the mine if you do. Option 1 of 2 right. Give me the key. Player says I need a way to get into the mine, but this seems risky. Option 1 of 2 I shouldn't let the twins get away with this. They cause enough trouble as it is. Option 2 of 2 twins are always causing trouble, but this prank seems harmless. Option 1 of 2 I shouldn't let the twins get away with this. They cause enough trouble as it. Player says who knows what kind of trouble I could get into if I help them. Option 1 of 2 right. Give me the key. Option 2 of 2 no thanks. I'll find some other way in. Artemis says ugh. Fine, but if you snitch, you're in for it, Magdalene. Artemis.
Hello, Magdalene. Forest. Trying to stay hollow. Follow the tape. Try waterfall. Hold mine.
Mine shaft.